Hello creative friends, this is Joy. Today I'm going to work on doing a set of canvases. I got these little 6x6 canvases and I wanted to do some kind of grouping where they all kind of matched or went together. And so I kind of come up with an idea of what I want to do. And I have this key that I got from Michael's. I thought I could put on this canvas. I found this heart from magazine, or well, from my stash that was cut out of a magazine. I thought maybe I could do a nice tape transfer to put on this canvas. I found this picture in a magazine of this bird that I really liked, the colors, the green and the red and stuff, because of course red's my favorite color. So I kind of did a quick sketch and outlined the bird and with a black marker, and I'm going to color this in probably with my paint pens. And then I decided on the fourth canvas to draw a picture of a face, and rather than sitting down and trying to take the time to draw the face, I went through my drawings and found this one that I already had of a face. So I just kind of put that on my printer. I reduced it down and I got it to a small enough size to where I could put it on this particular canvas. So not sure if I'm going to just put it down as a black and white or do something more to it, but we'll see. I'll see what I end up doing with that. So that's kind of like my idea to start with. I'm going to get some color and some background on these canvases, and then start working on getting the different elements that I want to put on them down, and then adding some words to the canvases to finish them off. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching. Okay, so for this bird I used my Posca paint pens to color it in, and basically I just went with the lightest color, like the light green, to color the head in to start with, and then used a little bit of a darker green and did some dashes to add contrast and a darker color. And I did the same here. I did like a red and then went in with some black to with little dashes of black to give some contrast to that color of the bird. And I did this for the whole bird, and I really like the way it turned out. It in the end really turned out good. The original bird has a white belly, but I just decided this bird needed more than just a big white belly, and so I ended up coloring the belly blue. You'll see here in a minute. I did like a big splotch of orange, and I was just trying to move it around, and eventually I get my paintbrush out to move that around and color that in. So here I'm painting the belly blue. This took me some time to do, but the effect was definitely worth it in the end. Like I said, I really do like the way this little bird turned out, and it's got a lot of color and contrast in it, which I was pretty happy with the results in the end. So I'm doing the same thing on the belly here as I did on the rest. I did the light blue, then the dark blue, and then came across the light blue with the dark blue with dashes, and then across the dark blue with the light blue with some dashes, and then I come in with a black here, you'll see in a minute. And here I'm adding some red dashes to the throat of the bird, and here I'm going through with the black dashes to add some more contrast to the belly of this bird and to the throat. And here is a darker red or a brown, and then the black. I cut out the bird and went around the edges with the black pen so that you couldn't see the white edges from the white paper. I didn't like that you could see the white edges. And I sped this video up quite a bit because this actually was like a project over 2 weekends. So it was a long video. And here I'm doing a tape transfer. I'm just using some packing tape on a picture I found in a magazine, and you wet the back, and there I noticed that I didn't get all of the heart on the tape, so I had to add another little piece and burnishing it, that last little piece, and then you wet it and you remove the pulp of the paper off of the tape transfer. And here I'm removing the rest of the pulp and drying it, and then I cut it out. Really, I've been having a lot of fun with these tape transfers. They're really easy to do, and they're pretty cool. Just cleaning it up a little bit, and there you have that. And then for the little canvases, I used turquoise, red, and an apple green. I didn't use any of the orange on the canvases, but I took this stencil that I found at Walmart, I believe, and instead of just putting paint down, I wanted to add some texture. And I tried paint through the stencil, but I didn't really particularly care for that, so then I just put the paint on there and then rubbed a paper towel through the stencil, which I like that effect much better. So that's what I ended up doing on all of the canvases, including the edges of the canvas. I just would put the paint on, put the stencil on, and then rub the paint off through the stencil with the napkin. And that way it gives, not only just color to the canvas, but a little bit of interest as well. But as I was saying, this video was really long, so I managed to really get it cut down to less than 20 minutes. But this actually took me over 2 weekends to do these 4 little canvases. And here I'm using the green with a different pattern and rubbing through it. There I kind of moved the stencil and it kind of messed it up. So I just paint over it and try again. Really easy process. I mean, it's kind of hard to mess it up, because if you don't like it, you just paint over it and try again. So I like those kinds of processes that are easy, and to fix. And I do this on all the canvases. I tried to on the canvases not make each one the same, but it tried to be somewhat random with the colors and stuff, but they still kind of sort of come out the same, but that's okay. I end up covering a lot of this up with some scrap papers and whatnot. So here I'm showing you the red that I'm putting on there, and I'm using a Balzer Design stencil. This is one of my favorite stencils that I have, and I really love the pattern, and I really love the color red, so the two together just makes me happy, happy, happy. So I am doing that to all of the canvases. And here are some papers. They're actually origami papers, and I really like them because they're really thin and they glue down nicely. And I wanted the torn look, so I kind of ripped the edges off around it and then tore it into pieces to put down on these canvases. I ended up using some matte gel medium to put them down with, and the easiest way I found, I was going to just put a pool of it on the canvas and just kind of brush it around, but the easiest way is just to put it in a little cup and then use a paintbrush to brush it on the pieces of paper and then put them down and then brush over them. So I did that with all of the canvases. And then I had some Tim Holtz washi, or I'm sorry, not washi tape, but Tim Holtz tissue tape. This was some scraps from another project that I decided that would look cool on these canvases, so I ripped them up and glued them down as well. And at this point in the process, I was so happy with the way these things looked. I could have hung them on my wall just like that, but I had a plan, so I continued on, and since they were so bright and colorful, I washed down some gesso and just put a wash of watered down gesso on these canvases to tone them down just a little bit. And it's kind of funny because I tone them down, but then it's like, okay, I want more color. So I come back in with some watercolor and put the watercolor on there so that they're not so white. But I still was not completely happy with the way they looked. I mean, I liked that they had a little bit more color to them, but I just felt like they were just kind of needed more. So I got out my Luminaire watercolors and started putting that on there on the canvases. So where there was blue, I put blue. Where there was green, I put a wash of green. And where there was red, I put a wash of red. And after I did this, I was much happier with the canvases. I was really happy with the way they turned out. And they, with these Luminaire paints or watercolors, they have a little bit of a sheen and a shine to them. So that makes me happy too. And where the colors kind of blended together, like the blue with the red, it made a little bit of a purple color, and so yeah, they blended well. So here I used some StazOn ink pad and stamped my message onto tissue paper. Reason why I decided to stamp it onto tissue paper was because that way I can better position the words on my canvases with it being on tissue paper, and the tissue paper just basically disappears, and that way I get the words exactly where I want them on my canvases. And what I decided to do is, because I couldn't get these straight and they were too far apart when I tried to put them together to stamp them on here, so I decided to cut them out and glue them down letter by letter. So there it shows where I was cutting them out, and then I just used gel medium again to glue down the words onto the canvases. And my elements, I ended up gluing down the tape transfer from the heart and the bird and the face, all of them onto these little canvases with the words, using the matte gel medium. And the canvases turned out really, really well. I was really happy with them. I don't know exactly what I'm going to do with them because I don't really have any place to hang them in my house, but well, we'll see. I'll either figure out something to do with them or give them away as a present for Christmas or something. So here I'm placing down the letters and going over the top of them, matte gel medium. And I did at first, it was took a little bit for me to figure it out, but I finally got going, and they went down pretty easily. So putting down the drawing of the face, and making sure that those letters are down good. And I had glued down the heart, and then gluing down the bird. And as I was gluing these down, some of the watercolor came up a little bit off the canvas, so I did go back in with a paintbrush and fix that, touch that up. And here I'm just using Elmer's quick dry bond glue to glue down that key, and that stuff works really good. It'll stick down anything. That's my go-to if I need to glue something heavy duty down like that key. And here I'm fixing up the watercolor where it came off from me gluing down the letters and the elements. So that's pretty much the video showing how I created these little canvases. I hope you enjoy the video, and if you do enjoy my videos, I would appreciate if you like, subscribe, or leave me a comment. I'd love to hear from you. Here I decided to cover the whole face with the matte gel medium because part of her face kind of soaked up the glue, so I thought, well, let me just cover the rest of it, with glue and see how it turns out. So we'll see you guys next time. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.